It is the collective effort to achieve a specific goal in an organization. What is the administration? It is the collective effort to achieve a specific goal in an organization. Collective effort to achieve a specific goal in an organization. The Poskov view is the given by Gulick. The public administration is related to permanent execution, implementation of law, and public welfare in developing nation. And private administration is administration in private companies and institution. Objective is profit and often use management as the terminology. The management is the lower level function directing work to fulfill policy goal and art of getting work done through employees. They are often used in private administration. Then the governance. So it is rule made by government is governance. And difference between administration and management. So administration is a government system, service objective and work under constitution. And management is a private company system, profit objective and often managerial posts. Then the administration, public administration versus private administration. So public administration have the service oriented and constitutional framework, whereas the private administration have the profit oriented and company specific role. Then comes the role of public administration. So in developed countries like USA and Europe, so they have the high GDP and high per capita income, so less need for extensive welfare schemes, focus on law and order management. Then developing countries, India and neighborhood, so process of development, poverty and resource constraint and greater need for welfare scheme. Example, Narega. Traditional system, colonial legacy, hierarchy, centralized power, and potential for corruption, misuse of power. Rule bound, fixed rule, less sympathy. Then difference in role are there. Then administration as a subject. So initially part of political science development stage 6 phases. So the phase 1 politics administration dichotomy 1888 to 1926. So the original Prussia Germany and first mention in the Federalist of Hamilton of USA. The Woodrow Wilson, the father of public administration, so article the study of administration in 1887, and Frank Goodman in 900, the book Politics and Administration supported by dichotomy. Then L. D. White in 1926 write the book Introduction to the Study of Public Administration. Then comes the phase 2 principle of administration 1927 to 1937. So golden age of principle and thinkers are the W.F. Walby. So he write the book Principle of Public Administration, and Mooney Redley Onward Study and Industry and Public Administration. Gulick and Urvik papers on science of public administration in 1937, and give the 14 principles, and Mooney and Riley give 4. Gulick give a 10 principle, and Urvik gives 29 principles. Then phase 3rd era of challenge 1938 to 1947. So criticism of principles, Chester Bernard 1938 book The Function of the Executive, and Herbert Simon principle are powers, and the Robert Dahi give the 3 problems. Then the criticism crisis of identity 1948 to 1970. So shift back to political science. John Goss in 1950 book Trends in Theory of Public Administration and Public Administration as branch of political science. And new concept of save the existence. So comparative public administration, development administration, and new development administration NPA. Then the phase 5 new public administration 1971 to 1990. So emphasis on interdisciplinary studies of NPA, resistant to old principle, rigid, ineffective, connection with economics, management, psychology, and sociology, and oppose politics, admin, etymology, dichotomy, and oppose hierarchy, oppose value-free studies. And phase 6, public administration and LPG 1990 onward. So LPG reform, liberalization, privatization and globalization, emphasis on e-governance and debureaucratization. Then the reason for development in USA, so strong democracy, political will to serve, less corruption compared to other system, end of spoil system, public participation, welfare state concept, industrial development and wealth and social mobility. Development in India, so colonial influence and 1937 diploma at Madras University, Professor Prasad. 1938 diploma at Allahabad University, then 1945 Lucknow University, 1949 department at Nagpur University. So first HOD MP Sharma, father of public administration in India. 1954, so Indian Institute of Public Administration, IIP at New Delhi. So Appleby Committee recommendation, and 1959 Lucknow University UG and PG. 1975 Department of Rajasthan University, MB Mathur. So MB Mathur, father of public administration in Rajasthan, research Hyderabad, Chandigarh, Jaipur, Lucknow. 1987 included option subject in UPSC, taught in 50 universities. HM Ripat Harishchand Mathur, Rajasthan Institute of Public Administration. So training institution research and innovation, and established in 1965 by MB Mathur. Then the 1997 includes subject in Basir 9 class 12. Then this is the new public administration, NPA. So emergence in USA 1968 and onward, and multi-dimensional change, reason social and economic problems in USA, political will for change, failure of old system to deliver. Hone report. So Hone report, control on higher service, establish National Commission for Public Administration, promote research, financial aid to student. And the Philadelphia Conference 1967. So chaired by Charles Worth, critique of principle and practices, recommendation, oppose politics and administration dichotomy, oppose hierarchy, oppose centralization. Minnow Conference USA. So Minnow 1 1968, participated by young scholar, construct social and economic change, four goals. So value, equity, social change and relevance, and critique of old public administration principle. Minobek 2 1998, participation, young and senior scholar, and constructs LPG era, and 3E, economy, efficiency and effectiveness, and 4D, limited government rules. So decentralization, delegation, debureaucratization and democracy. Minobook 3rd 2008, participant 200 representative from 13 countries, context economic recession and e-governance, and focus on TAR, so transparency, accountability and responsibility. Then the focus on public welfare. Then comes the characteristic of NPA in summary. So the oppose old principle, connectedness, not separate from politics, ethical value focus, and oppose centralization, accountability and social commitment, and oppose rigid hierarchy. Then comes the approach to study public administration. So developed over time by thinkers, not a single definition approach, definitive approach. So major division, four divisions. So classical approach, so the old and traditional, emphasis on formal structure and rule. Key theories and thinkers are scientific management by Taylor, so focus on efficiency, one best way, and piece rate system. Then bureaucracy by Max Weber, so ideal type of organization, hierarchy, rules and impersonality. Then the formal organizational theory by Homunri Fuel, so principle of management is given. Then the Gulick and Urvik and Mooney and Rabi give this principle. Then the human relation approach, so focus on human factor, informal organization, Alton Mayo. So consider employee as a human being. Halton study Western Electric Company finding. So organization as system, and leadership, supervision, communication, participation, affect productivity, and social and psychological factor are the key. Then the behavioral approach. So focus on actual behavior of administrator decision making process and by Herbert Simon. Then the system approach. So view administration as a system with input, process, and output, and intersection with environment type of systems. So the open system by white box. So permeable boundaries, emphasis on differentiation and specialization, expression and higher level benefit and negative entropy. Then the closed system black box, so impermeable boundary, disorder, disintegration, and self-destruction and positive entropy. Then the conclusion of approaches. So public administration is neither purely science nor art, continuously involving social science. Organizational concepts. So hierarchy by paid sopan, pad sopan, so meaning control of lower levels by higher levels. So fundamental of formal organization, pyramidal shape or ladder shape, hierarchy of authority, scalar principle, communication flow through chain and expansion gangplank. And span of control. So a number of subordinate a superior can effectively control. A limitation on control, not a fixed number. Factor affecting span of control. So personality of superior, nature of work and simple and complex, and location, geography, time and duration, objective, employee competence, family circumstances, informal and supervision technique, traditional or modern, and automation and technique. Then the Greconas theory. So Greconas theory is so focus with within span of control, direct group and cross control, and formula of cross relation. So R equal to n into 2 power n by n 2 plus n minus 1. N is number of subordinates. Then the unity of command. So each employee receive order from only one superior, avoid confusion and so management function and corporate governance. So management function and corporate governance. Management functions, so the similar to administrative function and focus on public and private companies. Corporate governance, operating business with by established rule and standard. Promoting accountability, transparency, participation, and ethics apply to privacy, public and enterprise history. So the felt need after 2019 economic depression, access access. So committee international. So the Cadbury Committee UK 1992, King Committee South Africa, and Blue Ribbon Committee USA. So different countries have different rule. And committee in India. So Omkar Goswami Committee 1995, Disinvestment Committee 1997, Mangalam Vinma Committee 1999, widely obstructed Mantri Committee 2002. Then the National Foundation for Competent Governance, NFCG. So the platform for deliberation include business leaders, policymaker and regulator, and NGOs formed by Corporate Ministry, FICCI, Indian Institute of Industrial Affairs, and ICAI, and work at three level: Governing Council, Board of Trustee, and Directorate. Then corporate social responsibility. So companies spending a part of profit for social welfare, ethical obligation, money earned from the society. Company Act 2013 of India so made CSR mandatory for certain companies. India first country in 2014. So mandatory condition. So turnover is greater than equal to 1000 crore, net worth is greater than equal to 50 crore, 500 crore, and net profit is greater than equal to 5 crore. So mandatory spending 2% of average net profit in last 3 year, and objective control companies instill social responsibility. Other provision: increase director number, regulate director salary, and limit directorship, and special court for scams, and exemption from RTI for internal matters. Areas of CSR spending. So Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, Namani Gange, health, education, housing, women and child development, environment, and rural development. Then comes the CSR in Rajasthan. So donation to state university encouraged, and reason for CSR adoption. So gain social acceptance, comply with government regulation, increase consumer awareness and legal knowledge. New public administration, NPM, change management. So new public management, so related to NPA, often used interchangeably and emerged after 1990. Global socio-economic change consider a movement of mature scholar versus NPA as youth movement, and bringing public administration close to management context and region. So if inefficiency, red tapeism in old public administration, corruption and misuse of resource and benefit to a few. Aim, achieve efficiency like private sector. Primary goal, public welfare. Key, so the economic efficiency and effectiveness, and promoted by the David Osborne and Ted Gabler book, Reinventing Government, making public sector capable of handling LPG change. Cape Genemi Conference, Canada, 1994. Theme, transitional government, focus on moving from old to new governance. New dimension and feature, similar to good governance. So participatory governance, anti-corruption effort, transparency, accountability, equity, inclusion, participation, citizen charter, e-governance, responsive governance, minimum government, maximum governance, pretty, accountability, partnership, responsibility, efficiency, transparency and inclusiveness. Then the change management. So change management, we have context, changing world, LPG technology and social change, need to manage and adapt to change, adapting administrative structure to new era, organization must change or become obsolete, ability to change is an art and challenge threat of change. So resistance from employee and fear to loss of power and status, and fear of job loss, and fear of resource, and pessimist attitude. Then the others, the power, authority, legitimacy, responsibility, delegation, value, attitude in public service, and the control administration, and administrative structure, and district structure, development administration, and state human rights commission, and state election commission, Lok Ayukt, RPSC, Rajasthan Public Service Act 2011, and Rajasthan of Act 2012. So these are we have done in other video, and key thinker and terms. So key thinker of public administration. So Woodrow Wilson, Frank Goodenough, L.D. White, W.F. Wobbly, and Mooney and Riley, Gulick and Urwick, Henry Fayol, Chester Bernard, Herbert Simon, Robert W. Taylor, Grekunas, M.B. Mathur in Rajasthan, David Osborne, Ted Gabler, Appleby Committee, Cadbury Committee, King Committee, Blue Ribbon Committee, Omkar Goswami Committee, Mangalam Bidwa Committee, Naran Murthy Committee, Sachin Pilot Company Act, Gandhiji, Seven Social Evil, Plato write the Republican, and Kautilya write the Arthashastra. This is the marathon for public administration.